Bună seara, sunt Cristina Cileacu. Uniunea Europeană a deschis noi canale de comunicare cu Turcia. Interesul comun declarat este acceptarea ca membru în blocul comunitar. Până atunci, puterea de la Ankara are de străbătut lungul drum a reformelor și asta în timp ce trebuie să facă față complicatei probleme a refugiaților și amenințării terorismului. Începe Pasaport diplomatic. Cred că Turcia are nevoie mai mult ca niciodată de Uniunea Europeană și, la rândul ei, Uniunea Europeană are nevoie mai mult ca niciodată de Turcia, sub diferite aspecte. Declarația a fost făcută de Volkan Bozkır, ministrul turc pentru afaceri europene, într-un interviu acordat în exclusivitate pentru Pasaport diplomatic.
Nevoia Europei de a reduce numărul de refugiați care ajung zilnic în spațiul comunitar a readus în prim plan negocierile Turciei cu Uniunea Europeană pentru statutul său de membru cu drepturi depline. Cancelarul german Angela Merkel vrea să vadă din partea conducerii de la Ankara rezultate concrete în privința problemei celor care fug de război. În semn de bună credință, Uniunea Europeană a decis să pună la dispoziția partenerului său un fond de 3 miliarde de euro ca sprijin în efortul uriaș pe care turcii îl fac pentru ajutorul refugiaților. Cu toate acestea, Angela Merkel a subliniat că Turcia are de parcurs un drum foarte lung în încercarea sa de a deveni membru al Uniunii Europene.
Minister, welcome to Diplomatic Passport.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are the Minister of European Union Affairs and you're also Chief Negotiator for Turkey. How close is your country to joining European Union?
Well, it's of course a very different story. We first applied in 1959, and it is more than 50 years of a relation. It shows how decided, how stubborn, how tolerant, patient Turkey is. But I think in every relation, the common issue is to have interest. And I think Turkey needs the European Union more than ever now. And I think European Union needs Turkey more than ever now under the different circumstances. So the process is important. The continuation of the process gives benefit. And we're trying our best to upgrade Turkey's level and capacities to reach the European standards as soon as possible. In political field, we changed more than 2,000 laws, penal code, civil code, obligations law, abolition of death penalty, reforms of the judiciary system, reforming this. So practically it was a benefit for Turkey and also for Europe. And we have, of course, the customs union relation, where no country entered into the customs union before becoming member. Turkey has this for more than 20 years now. And it's a success story. We have $150 billion of a trade. Over 14,000 articles is exchanged. And we will upgrade this year to include agriculture, public procurement and services. So we go up to $300 billion. Visa will be abolished this year. So we're moving to the end of the game. I hope it will be earlier than we expect. But we will try to achieve the conditions at that moment. And I hope that European Union will make the correct decision.
What was the purpose of your visit here in Bucharest?
Well, of course, after reappointed as EU minister after the elections, I'm traveling to EU countries. I was in Italy, France, Germany, in Strasbourg, in Netherlands, but not coming to Romania couldn't be possible. I wanted to come to this friendly country and have this exchange of views while we are facing a lot of difficult moments. I think it's absolutely necessary that Turkey and Romania continues their support to each other. Of course, we're dealing with a lot of difficult issues like illegal migrancy, fight against terrorism. In our region there are troublesome areas like in Moldavia or in Syria or in Iraq or in Georgia or with Russia or with some other countries. So I think this very good relation, which is there uninterrupted for decades, will be absolutely a good tool to overcome these difficulties.
De astăzi intră în vigoare un acord de încetare a focului în Siria. Vladimir Putin, omul care a prelungit practic durata războiului sirian prin decizia de a-l susține pe președintele Bashar al-Assad, joacă acum rolul de pacificator. Președintele rus a avut mai multe discuții telefonice cu liderii lumii și se implică personal în realizarea armistițiului. Organizațiile teroriste de pe teritoriul Siriei, ISIS și brigăzile al-Nusra, nu sunt implicate în acest acord. Grupările de rebeli sirieni consideră că Rusia îi poate bombarda mai departe, sub pretextul continuării luptei antiteroriste.
The situation in Syria is getting worse. As we know, the situation in Aleppo is getting worse. What would be the worst case scenario and the better case scenario if Aleppo is lost?
Well, the Syrian problem unfortunately gets worse, even though we were always warning again that Assad must go as a leader of a country who killed more than 300,000 people. If he stays, these refugees will not go back. They will not find themselves secure because he is the one who forced them to leave their homes behind and live in camps in difficult situations, and their families are lost in these bombings and killings. So I think there is no chance for a peace in Syria if Assad will remain in power. So what the world community should do is first to find a way where Assad is not there anymore and a new Syrian regime is founded, which will bring the country to a democratic Syria where rule of law is respected. Unfortunately, it was simple in the beginning. It was opposition versus the regime forces, and after years it became Hezbollah is there, Al-Qaeda is there, Al-Nusra, Daesh, all the terrorist entities came there to show their power in that laboratory of terror. And it is very complex now. Russia is there, Iran is there, it could have been much easier if we understood the complexity and the tendency of it becoming more dangerous. Now it is much difficult, but it has to be solved one way or another. The first step should be, I think, to stop Russia, to act together with regime, Syrian regime. Russia has come there to fight against terrorism. But if we look at the number of air sorties and number of bombed places, 92% is the opposition forces, only 8% is Daesh targets. So first Russia must be stopped and it has to respect the reason that it has come to Syria. And of course ceasefire is not the end of the story. It must, atrocities is a very vague definition of things. Ceasefire and then peace, and then having Syria go to become a democratic country is the target. I hope that Halep is not bombed anymore, because the more Aleppo is bombed, we will have a risk of a pressure of more refugees. 1.5 million people lives there. If they are all afraid of their lives, then the existing situation and numbers, which is really a threat to us, will be doubled, and we will face a situation where perhaps we will say that those days were even better than. So that is it. And there's, of course, 3.5 million people on the coast of Syria. So if things go bad, we are risking a movement of 3.5 million.
The Western powers are counting on Turkey for peace negotiation with Syria.
Turkey has some problem with the Kurdish. United States is supporting the Kurdish Union Party from Syria that is fighting against Assad. On the other hand, the United States is the biggest partner of Turkey in the fight against Daesh. How are all these work together?
First of all, Turkey does not have a problem with Kurds. We have Turkish citizens of Kurdish origin. We don't have a problem. There are Kurds living in Iraq. We don't have a problem. There are Kurds living in Syria. We don't have a problem. Our problem is with terrorist organizations. We are fighting against Daesh. Daesh is a terrorist organization. We're fighting against PKK. PKK is also a terrorist organization. And we have evidence that PYD, which is fighting against Daesh, it looks like, is the branch of PKK in Syria. And they are helping PKK in Turkey to kill our soldiers. We lost 300 soldiers killed by the PKK, and many of them are killed with weapons through tunnels passed into Turkey by the PYD. So we are trying to explain to United States that you can't differ between terrorist organizations. Look, Daesh has really operated a lot of terrorist attacks. 3 suicide bombers, Daesh terrorists, exploded themselves in Suruç, in Ankara and Istanbul. Many lives were lost. So here, controlling a part of a Syrian territory doesn't mean that this is not a terrorist organization. Daesh is also controlling a part of Syrian territory. Al-Qaeda is controlling. Al-Nusra is also controlling some part. And PYD is. So if we think that, okay, these are harmless, we need them to fight with Daesh, so we close our eyes that they are terrorist organization. So after a while, when they achieve their targets, then they will show their real face, and then we will never have peace in the region. That's what we are telling. So United States and Turkey, we are model partners. United States is a very important country. It's a superpower, and we need United States to solve the Syrian problem, to have a better situation in Iraq, to solve the Cyprus problem, in world peace everywhere. And we are having good relations with the United States. So what we are trying to convince is showing them evidence, papers, how the structures are the same, how important it is to not allow terrorists control territories. For the time being, they are not in the same agreement with us, but it is a friendly country. We will explain, give more evidence, and try to make them understand that there is a danger there.
Declarațiile tot mai tăioase pe care președinții de la Ankara și Moscova și le fac în ultima vreme i-au determinat pe liderii din vest să-și exprime îngrijorarea legată de izbucnirea unui conflict între Turcia și Rusia. Fiecare dintre cele două puteri susține deschis principalii combatanți din Siria. Rebelii au sprijinul Turciei, iar regimul oficial pe cel al Rusiei. În momentul de față, avantajul în războiul din Siria este de partea rușilor.
What about Russia? Because it seems more in control in the Syrian war.
With Russia, until perhaps a month ago or 2 months ago, we had the best relations in the last 300 years. It was based on mutual interests, $32 billion of a trade volume, etc. And it really showed good results. But unfortunately, the 300 years target of Russia has always been to reach the warm waters, which is Mediterranean. And they have reached the Mediterranean thanks to the Syrian government, which has provided them with a military base in Latakia. So they never would like to leave that opportunity, which was a target for them for 300 years. So when they saw that Assad was falling, opposition forces were having superiority, and they will really make Syria another peaceful country, they came to Syria with an apology that they are there to hit the Daesh terrorist targets, but actually once they came here, they actually sided with the Assad regime and did more bombing on the. So I think they want to be a part of the solution, and they do not want to risk what they have achieved, what they have obtained, and using their membership of the Security Council veto power group, they have been the reason why we couldn't solve the Syrian problem before. They really blocked every decision in the Security Council, every peace attempt they blocked. Now they want to show to the parties who want a peace that without me you can't achieve something. So give me my expectations.
So far they succeed.
So far they succeeded, but you never know in politics or in diplomacy. Picture may look, as you said today, but you should never forget that in Afghanistan they were forced to leave by the same type of forces.
Atentatele teroriste de pe teritoriul Turciei s-au înmulțit. De la începutul anului și-au pierdut viața peste 40 de oameni, turci și alte naționalități deopotrivă, în atacuri comise de teroriști ISIS sau ai grupărilor rebele kurde. Pe lângă problemele de securitate, puterea de la Ankara are de rezolvat și o serie de situații extrem de complexe pe paliere foarte diferite. Prezența refugiaților rămâne în continuare cea mai complicată. Cu toate eforturile pe care le face Turcia, numărul celor care ajung ilegal în insulele grecești este de aproximativ 2500 pe zi, conform datelor emise de Națiunile Unite. Se înregistrează totuși o scădere semnificativă în comparație cu vara anului trecut, când în Grecia intrau în medie 6.000 de refugiați pe zi.
As you said, your country is facing a lot of challenges, terrorism from Daesh, refugees. Europe is counting on you to help us stop the huge flux of refugees, frictions with Russia. Is Turkey resourceful enough in order to handle all those?
Well, I think we're facing with a new style of difficulties, if I may say so. If we look at the illegal migration, unfortunately, for many years we were aware of the coming tsunami. But unfortunately, the European countries, even though we talked, wrote letters, raised this in platforms, were not aware of how dangerous it was coming until a few months ago. Even in July, August, this difficulty was not absolutely understood, and even though we were warning. So when we are facing this situation, this is one of the worst refugee movements perhaps we have seen in many years. But this is not just something happening from the Turkish border to Greece, or from the Turkish coast to Greek islands. It is, if we think it is like that, then we are making a mistake, and we will never be able to solve this. This has many consequences, many reasons and many consequences. So we have to think about 5 filters. First is Syria. If in Syria this war didn't happen, we wouldn't have faced this illegal migration, refugees, and terrorism. So first filter, we have to handle what's going on in Syria. Second is the Turkish border between Turkey and Syria. The third filter is between Turkish borders of Syria and the Turkish coast in the Aegean. Fourth filter is Greece. Fifth filter is from Greece to Germany. So very complex. So I think we must first dry the swamp of Syria, and if we can't, then this refugee thing and terrorist attacks will continue. What we are doing on the field is we have apprehended more than 146,000 illegal migrants last year, and we have arrested 4,300 smugglers, and I think this is a very important figure. And the daily numbers of illegal migrants reaching European territories has gone down from 3,000 to 300 recently. So it shows that the measures and cooperation we are putting into effect is giving good results. In addition, we have announced that working permits will be given to Syrian citizens in Turkey, Syrian refugees or guests as we call them. So the pressure, as they earn money by working, pressure on illegal migrancy will be eliminated. And of course, we have 2,630,000 Syrians in Turkey. It is a big amount. 700,000 of them needs education. We are providing school facilities to 250,000 of them. It will go up to 450,000 this year. 150,000 child was born from Syrian guests in Turkey. So just to make you understand how difficult it is. But the good sign is nobody in Turkey is complaining that they are in Turkey. There are cities, towns where there are more Syrians than the Turkish citizens, and you haven't heard, or I haven't heard any complaint. So it is good that Turkish society has absorbed this, thinking that it's a human obligation. These are our guests. They came here because they were running from terrorism or bombings. They left their homes and just to find a safe haven here. So these measures, I think, will reduce the tension to go for illegal migrancy. And with the European Union wish to contribute to the Syrian refugees with 3 billion euros, I think new schools will be built, new hospitals will be built, the capacities of the camps and the quality of their standards there will be increased. So these will also decrease the pressure on illegal migrancy. But of course, Europe also must decide on quotas so that these people will think that if they wait, they will have a chance to go to Europe, some country, as a human being, legally, and will not risk their lives as illegal migrants drowning in the seas.
But a lot of European countries, especially from the east side of Europe, refuse to take refugees.
Well, it is, of course, any country's decision. But, of course, this is something really which needs attention of the humankind. You can build walls, and many refugees could be stopped by walls. But what happens, in one night, 3,000 people may die because of cold, or 2,000 can die because of hunger. And that country, that people also have a conscience. They will criticize their governments who has built that wall because they were the reason of many people dying in front of the walls. So I don't think any country has the luxury to say that this is not my problem.
Ediția din această seară se încheie aici, dar rămânem online mai departe pe pagina noastră de Facebook și pe contul de Twitter al emisiunii. Ne revedem sâmbătă viitoare de la 22:30. La revedere!